would you define as a good piece of baseball content?
On the field, off the field, just general question?
I think a general question, because I feel like you would have to combine both. I feel like you can combine bits and pieces of those things.
Good piece of baseball content is, I guess, the inside story behind something big that goes down, right? So I'll bring in one of our other shows to help tell the story here. We have a weekly show called Legends Territory, and that is with former players each week. We've had some big names on and big personalities and guys that, I mean, Mark McGuire's on. Obviously, we're talking steroids. That's going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Jonathan Papelbon is one of our more recent ones.
I love him.
He said a lot when he played, but
He's amazing.
says, he what?
He's amazing. I love him.
He is a machine. I mean, however you felt about him as a player, whatever. And also, some of these guys were before their time in terms of how much they spoke and showed themselves off, right? To be a showman, to not just say cookie cutter answers. And he is that guy. So we bring him on, and relevant right now. I mean, he played with Bryce. They got into it. It's not just telling that full story. It's the next layer of, hey, we went into the clubhouse, and you can hear the interview. I mean, he was taking shots at Matt Williams and how he basically just didn't even touch it or handle it at all. Those stories, right? Everyone knew the main story. I want to know every freaking juicy detail, because at the time, for the most part, it's short. It's, hey, that's the past. Now we're going to move past that. Everything good. Everyone loves each other. That, I think, is a big part of how this all came together too, is players that I have friendships with, or that are people that I've covered that are acquaintances for years that I pass and that I've spoken to, have joked about this. And I'm like, damn, that's fucked up to say I'm in autopilot when I'm doing most interviews, right? I'm like, but doesn't that suck?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but we just know, say after the game, they're going to come up to me and say, what was your approach on that homer and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's fine. And then they just have their generic reply. Not all of them, but many have said, like, I go on autopilot on many interviews, depending on where they're coming from or what the topics are. So for me, I'm like, we need to go past that. It's 2023. Also, there's a younger audience that's used to people being more authentic and saying what they want because they've had platforms, or they can start their own show in 5 seconds. You don't have to be working for a legacy network to have a voice. So that's where it's changed.